Ukraine says Russia has launched its biggest wave of airstrikes in months, hitting the nation's power grid ahead of winter. At least 10 people are dead after the nationwide missile and drone attack. Hello there. Ukraine says Russia has launched its biggest wave of airstrikes in months, with missiles and drones targeting its power grid ahead of winter. President Zelensky says 120 missiles and 90 drones were used in what he called a massive combined strike on all regions of Ukraine. At least 10 people have died and many across the country have been left without power. Paul Adams has the very latest from the city of Dnipro.
This was one of the largest attacks in months. Missiles and drones targeting cities all across this vast country. The south was hit hard. In Odessa and Mykolaiv, rescue workers were busy from first light, dragging survivors and bodies from the wreckage of homes. After almost 3 years of this, there's exhaustion and fear that this is what the long winter months have in store. Ukraine's electricity grid was the main target, triggering power cuts in several cities. And when the power goes, so too does the water. For the people of Odessa, a long trudge to the nearest emergency supply. I don't think we'll get water today, says Yulia. Maybe tomorrow, in the evening. President Zelensky congratulated the men and women of Ukraine's air defences, including Natalia Grabarchuk, shooting down her very first cruise missile. Did it hit? Someone asks. Yes, comes the answer.
If you look to the map, it's difficult to find any place around Ukraine where the missiles were not targeting. And one of the missiles even crossed the Moldova border this night.
In Kiev, parts of a missile shot down by Ukraine's air defences, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. When the sirens sounded, some headed for the capital's famously deep underground. After almost 3 years, most now stay at home. But winter is approaching and Russian forces are advancing in the east. There's a renewed sense of pessimism and danger. So power cuts in several places across the country today, and the government is promising more to come tomorrow. I was talking earlier today to someone from one of the largest private energy companies, and he said effectively, here we go again. There is a widespread belief that this could mark the beginning of another concerted effort by the Russians to plunge Ukraine into the cold and the dark through the long winter months. We've already had the first snow. Temperatures are dropping. This is the time when people are most anxious about their ability to get by. I have to say that in previous years, they have managed in quite spectacular fashion to get by on as much as or as little as 50% of the country's energy capacity. They are bracing themselves for something like that again. And I think what it goes to show us is that despite all the speculation about what the Trump effect might be when he arrives at the White House in a couple of months' time, certain grim realities of this war just keep continuing.
Indeed. Paul, thank you for that. To you and the team. Paul Adams there in Dnipro.